Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Ryan, it's initiative time.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess I'm halberding? I may have accidentally just poked this thing with a halberd.
Yep. Now remind us, for those that haven't seen this show in a while, is your halberd bronze, steel, mithril, something else?
My halberd is mithril.
Ooh.
and twisted and gnarled, hand forged with spite and hatred, and blessed, cursed by the gods.
Something.
It is a sinister weapon that leaves grievous wounds upon those unfortunate enough to be struck with it. So yeah, I guess I'll just use halberd initiative. Normally I like to power up before a fight, but I guess we'll see. 12.
Nice. They still go first.
But I do have reach on them, so I'm some 5 feet away from the mouth. It opens up, but I guess we'll see if it can move or what.
The maw does begin to open, and crawling out of it are 3 emaciated dog-like creatures with kind of like it's almost like red skin, or it's almost like someone has like skinned a dog and just left the muscle and flesh, and now it's running around.
This sounds really familiar. I think I found a corpse of one of these things or something. I don't even remember. But anyways, I'm having flashbacks. Maybe it's just the vapors.
Yeah, they've got these bony protrusions on them, and like a jaw that seems to almost unhinge as it moves. And
so these come out of the mouth?
Yes, these crawl out of the mouth. And the 3 of them attack you. You have range, so
reach.
Yep.
How many attacks does a fighter get?
3 plus 1 for every 5 levels.
So I can just give a nice sweep and take opportunity attacks at all 3 of them.
Yes, you may.
At +3 to hit. 20 plus 3, 19. 1 and 18.
Wow, those are great. Well, 2 of them are.
Yeah, not high enough to crit. But,
no, you're 1 shy.
And I didn't get a chance to do my strength of stone, so I'm just using a regular D10. So in one broad sweep, I do 3 to one dog and 2 to another.
Okay. Let me just mark HP. And this one is here. And mostly you as these dice. That's fine. Excellent. So they come up towards you and immediately kind of like break and surround you. The one attacks you from behind with like a 6 to hit. One attacks you from the front with a 14.
So we're doing a modified AC system here. So
right.
I don't actually have. I think we were using Dex as armor, so I've just got 11.
Right. So one of them hits you from the front, biting you for D5 damage. And when it bites your leg, it does not let go. It just like bites and holds on tight. And the third one opens its mouth and spews like a web of tentacles towards you, like little twisty, viney, grabby thingies that just like belch out of the monster and try and grab your other leg. This one, I'd actually... go ahead.
Did the bite do any damage?
5 damage. Sorry, 5 damage.
5 damage,
yeah.
But it's
reduced
piercing?
by... It's 5 piercing. Actually, I would say the teeth are even slashing. You know, they are trying to pierce, but I would say they would reduce like slashing since they're
or
bone
hacking
and muscle.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Sorry, trying to find that armor reduction thing. And what did the webs do?
I was going to ask you to make me a dex check to avoid the grabbing twisting tentacles or tails or something that comes out of the second one, like try and envelop you. You pass. All right.
I pass.
It is your turn.
Sorry, give me a second because I do want to find my armor reduction, and I think I should just copy that into my character sheet. Okay, here we go. Let's see if... All right, let's get a different. Okay, so with chain versus slash, I actually don't take any damage from that bite.
From 5?
Yeah, slashing by
Nice.
chain is reduced by 6. So he just like sinks, his teeth get snagged into my chainmail.
Yeah, it's in the boot and the chain and everything, but he's like got a good grip on your leg.
And with the past dex check, did I...
The tentacles come out and try and like envelop you and grab you,
but it's I totally resisted it.
Yes, you've knocked them aback. Probably like the flat of your halberd comes and knocks some of them away, and you step aside, and they land limply on the ground. And then you know how you've seen a dog eat its own puke, right? Where it kind of like it does the same sort of thing and tries to like eat its own tentacles up.
Can I use my halberd against the one that's got my leg, or is that awkward?
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I think with a reach weapon,
Yeah.
that's going to be hard.
Yeah. So I think narratively it makes more sense for me to swing at the one that's eating its own vomit. Maybe it's even distracted by this. We'll see.
Go for it.
Doesn't matter. Critical miss.
Wild.
I think I just dropped the halberd. So I fumble with the halberd and it goes clanging away. And then I'm going to go to axe and buckler. I think the buckler is usually just strapped to me, although at this point maybe I wasn't expecting it. I don't know if it's on my back or on my arm. I don't know what you think. Maybe I can make just like a luck check to see where it is.
Sure.
Let's say 10 or higher, it's on my arm now. I think my buckler's on my back. So I go to grab my battle axe and we roll for initiative again.
Okay, initiative. That's not the right initiative die.
Battle axe is 4. 11.
Okay, all the doggies go before you. The one that's grabbing your leg is going to start dragging you. I need you to make me an opposed strength check.
Oh, and I'm not buff. D20 plus 12 is 23.
Ooh, you just barely lose by 2. It's got hold of your leg and it starts pulling you, dragging you towards this hole, and you find yourself like hopping on one foot to stay on balance as it drags you right to the edge of this thing. The one from behind you.
So it drags me 5 feet or something? So
Yeah, it drags you 5
So
feet.
it can't drag me into the pit, but I'm like just next to it.
The one from behind you rolls an 8 to hit you, which still is a miss. And then the one that had previously spewed tentacles has like since consumed them all and is just going for a regular bite on you with a 17 to hit, which
That'll
will
hit.
bite you for 3. But again, you're
So
armored
I actually
well.
can't take damage from their bites.
That's
You
what
may
it
need to-
seems like thus
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
But now both of your legs are gripped by these creatures.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. It is your
It takes
turn
a full
to go.
round to strap on a buckler, right? So I think
No,
I'm
no,
just...
a buckler can be put on very quickly. Oh, well, hold on. There are 2 types of bucklers. There's the type that wraps around your arm that it ties on, and there's the type that you grab with your hand. Which type of buckler do you use?
I don't
The one
know.
that you
I
grab
think
with
it
your...
actually, no, it's not a buckler. It's a medium shield. Sorry.
Oh,
So it
okay. Then it's definitely needs to be
takes a
strapped.
full round to equipped.
Yeah.
So I think I'm probably abandoning the shield and actually no, I've got conflicting. My proficiency says medium shield, my equipment says buckler. Whatever, it's a dwarf sized shield. Weighs 5 pounds. That can't be a buckler. Oh, your equipment list is super confusing. You only have 2 shield sizes.
Yeah, perhaps.
Whatever. But I think I'm gonna ignore the shield and just go for battle axe. It's the one that dragged me. A 10.
That will hit.
Might actually hit. Dogs don't have any dex.
No, definitely not when they're grabbing onto your leg.
Oh yeah, 3 points of damage on top of the. I think this one already took 3.
Yep. You hack into it. The dog kind of you see the muscly flesh split aside. You can hear one of the bones in it cracking, and leaking from it is the same sort of yellowish fluid that comes from the ground.
Where are you?
All right. And let's roll initiative.
All of these cheating spells. I think my frisky halberd has like flopped away from the dogs.
Yeah, the dogs seem to be ignoring it.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna battle axe because I get 2 attacks this round.
Okay.
9.
Oh, they definitely go before you. Each of the dogs holding onto your legs begins to drag you into the hole. So make me strength checks at disadvantage since each of your legs are being dragged.
That doesn't seem fair.
I mean, if 2 people are... Each one of them is holding one of your legs and trying to pull you away. You're...
Okay, so I fail the first one. I might pass the second one, but I think the dogs drag me into the mouth.
The doggies drag you into the maw, and you feel like you're sliding down a gullet or a throat when your head begins to sort of clear and it gets less fuzzy and things return to their original distance, and you find yourself in the main monastery area, kind of getting up off of the ground, your head clearing as you see Old Man Underhill beginning to set out towards the southeast or southwest on the hills. And you realize that this is one of those Tempos visions of the future that you've just had.
Yeah, I think I like awaken like screaming. And I'm like, whoa, Underhill! Where did you go? And I like come to.
Yeah, he's pretty close to you. He's barely started to walk his way out from the underground area. You know, it's probably only been 10 minutes since you left him.
Wait, let me go first. And I like get myself up and like lean on my halberd and start following after.
He waits for you and looks at you and says, I've been wandering these area for as long as I've been born. It's fine. Let me be.
And we step out of the monastery. I shake off that vision. I make sure I've got my shield handy, although I think I'm still walking with halberd in hand.
Sure.
And I'm gonna see if I can find that shrub, that bush.
So you start walking out, and very quickly you come across this spongy, meaty ground, and Mr. Old Man Underhill stops and goes, "This is most unusual. The ground is soft here. What is the meaning of this?" And he pulls out his sword and goes to plunge it into the ground, which splits it and fills that yellowish fluid.
I'm getting crazy deja vu. I start like walking past him, looking for the bush.
Yeah, sure enough, about a mile away on a slight rise, there's a bush.
And I think from here, well, let me check my ranges. 80 yards. How far away do I see it?
It's about a mile. It's on a hill quite a ways away from you.
All right, I think I single-mindedly start walking towards the bush, goats in tow.
The prophetic dream of yours has no desire to pull you back from this bush. You want to go get a second chance at it?
Well, I'm stopping 80 yards from the bush.
Okay. You head out onto the spongy ground. Mr. Underhill is slowly coming along behind you, but you quickly outpace him.
Does he have any commentary on the ground or any thoughts on it?
He does.
I think to him that I probably appear to be peculiarly ignoring the ground. Like I've already, in my vision, I had already investigated it. Mm-hmm. And now I'm like drawn towards the bush. towards the maw.
Yeah. He starts to say some things, but, you're moving on, and he's not worried, and he's not coming after you.
Okay.
So you miss any of his musings he may have.
And I stop at the base of the hill, some 80 yards from the bush.
Your goats are very uncomfortable.
With the floppy ground? Or...
Yeah, it seems to be making them a little nervous.
Yeah, well, I'm a little nervous too. Then I steel myself, and at the base of the hill, I begin chanting in Dwarven, and I take control of the situation, and I take control of the bush, and maybe the maw with it, and I cast Entangle.
All right. The grasses and the bush begin to twist and reach, and they've got that slight, flutter of enchantedness, but
and I channel maybe the roots will take hold of the maw. In any case, the bush is mine now. And then I think I'm gonna start conjuring a dust devil, which takes a few minutes.
All right. 2 rounds later, a dust devil has been conjured. And it starts kind of just spinning around on the earth.
Around the bush. What does Old Man Underhill make of this scene of this dwarf?
Oh, he's way behind you. He hasn't caught up yet. He's taking his time. Yeah.
And with the dust devil, I can't really see what's going on top of the hill, but I'm gonna use it to it turns up dirt and stones, so I'm gonna spin it around and tear up the stones where I think the maw is. Maybe there's not actually a maw there, but I make a right mess of the top of the hill.
You most certainly do. Yep.
No reaction from the ground, from the earth.
Not a one. It all seems fine. All seems fairly regular, except for this spongy squishiness that there is. Yep.
Let's see. So there's nothing up there to make attacks at. So actually,
I suppose you could make attacks at the ground or at the bush.
Entangle. Sorry, I've got so many ranges to keep track of. So the entangle is a 40-foot cube. Centered on the top of the hill. I think Dust Devil is 30 yards. So I advanced a little ways up the hill. Conjured Dust Devil. I think I'm just gonna go for all of it. So I'm gonna cast a Strength of Stone on myself. And then I think I'm gonna cast a Produce Flame and trek the way up the rest of the hill.
All right.
Actually, how long does the entangle? I may just be burning all my spells and get stuck in my entangle, but we'll see. All right, let's make the cube. Okay. So I guess let's roll this saving throw versus spell and see what I can do.
What is the saving throw versus spell for?
If I can move in the entangle.
All right, so you're gonna walk into the entangle zone.
No, I can't. So I step into it, and the ground holds fast my feet.
Yep.
Which is fine. Is it 16 strength isn't exceptional enough to tear through entangle?
I'll have to look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
It just says exceptionally large, gargantuan, or strong creatures. So I guess 16 is probably not enough.
No, exceptional strength would be 18 or higher.
But I do have this flame that I've produced. So I think I burn away the grasses that are holding up my ankles and sort of step back out of the zone. I was just at the edge. And I'm gonna huck this flame up the top of the hill and try and, well, we'll see.
Try and set the bush on fire?
The bush, I'm gonna aim for the mouth. I'm
Okay.
also aiming for the mouth of the Dust Devil. I may accidentally summon a fire elemental again.
Go ahead and make me roll
Go
to
throw
hit.
the produce flame 40 yards. As a missile, so I think I get to make my with my fighter range bonus, don't I? Or
Yep.
fighter attack bonus. So there's a 14.
That'll
Can I
hit.
see the stones from here?
No. No, they were like under the bush-ish.
Yeah. Were they actually under the bush, or were they next to the bush?
They're like, the bush might come from a central stalk, and they were to the side of the central stalk, but still underneath the branches of the bush.
Okay. Well, I hit it with a produce flame. Flame flashes on impact, igniting combustibles within a 3-foot diameter of its center, and then it goes out.
The bush is fairly dry.
Takes D4 plus 1 damage, and if combustion occurs, must spend a round extinguishing, blah, blah, blah. Misses resolved like a grenade-like missile.
Yep. So the bush goes up in flames. The ground around it is singed and burned.
And I think the Dust Devil sort of churns up the burning plant matter, which may still be writhing with the entangle. So do I get a fire, wind, earth elemental combination? I don't even know.
You do get a small fire twister.
Yeah. There's no, and then I drive the Dust Devil into where I think the mouth would be.
It doesn't fall into the ground anywhere, but it does whirl around that point.
Let's see. What does Old Man Underhill make of all this?
As he catches up to you, he kind of starts huffing and puffing. He goes, what is the meaning of all this? You didn't even stop to look at the soft ground. What sort of investigator are you?
I had a vision.
What do you mean a vision?
I've seen all of this before in the vapors, and I used the flame that I produced to start cutting my way through the entangled region.
Okay. You burn away the entangle as
and
you
I start
move forward.
trekking, the 20 feet up the rest of the hill towards the bush.
Yeah, you get up towards the bush, which is mostly burned away by now. The Dust Devil just kind of spinning in the area nearby. And you look at the ground at the base of the bush, and you don't see any teeth or stones or maw or dogs.
I use the flame to burn up the rest of the vegetation on the top here.
You're very certain there's no teeth or bones or maw or dogs.
And I move the Dust Devil aside, and I think and then I guess if it seems safe and sufficiently charred, I head to the top of the hill.
All right.
I set my produced flame at the blade end of my halberd for safekeeping, and use it to prod from a 5-foot distance, prod where the bush was. And poke around. Has Old Man Underhill followed me up to the top of the hill, or is he?
He has. He's followed you to the top of the hill, and he's watching what you're doing with great curiosity. He's got a quizzical look on his face as you poke and prod and move things about. Yeah.
Okay. Is the ground soft here? Is this all unsteady ground?
It's all soft, yeah. It's all unsteady.
And I think I want to sort of excavate as best I can the area under the bush.
Sure, you can start hacking into it, and it just splits apart like flesh, and oily, watery fluids kind of bubble up through it. Not bubble, but rise at wherever you cut it.
It doesn't seem any different than the rest of the...
No, it doesn't seem like there is an actual maw here. It seems like that part of the vision, vapory thingy is not actually here. What does that mean to Zweihardt? that he sees this vision, then does the exact same thing and gets different results. What are your interpretations of what's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it was more symbolic, or a warning of things to come. Maybe I'm to see these demon dogs and demon mouths somewhere else, or maybe it's more a metaphor for some other evil in this world. So I've like utterly destroyed the ground at the top of this hill, burned it, and entangled it, and whirled it up with dust devils, smacked it with a halberd.
Yep.
There's probably a big, nasty, pussy yellow pile of charred flesh at the top now.
Yep.
Does it stink?
Yeah, it definitely has that like old chicken smell to it. Now that you've hacked it up a lot, you've just like, there's like bits of the fluid that are landing on you and around you. So
what about the flame? Does it smell better when it's cooked?
Not really. No, it does not make a significant improvement to the smell.
In my vision, there was a foul maw here that spewed forth demonic dogs.
That's ridiculous.
More ridiculous than this, and
No, maybe not.
I look around, like, from the top of this hill. Is there any other objects of note?
Yeah, so you can scan the horizon from up here and kind of look about. You can see a few
Roll
miles.
a perception check or something?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Nope.
Yeah. It just kind of looks...
Open plains.
Yeah, out to the west, you can see like the tops of the sand dunes out there. Over to the east, you can see the ocean. Southward, not much. There are other gently rolling hills that obscure your vision of anything too far. And you're already too far south to see the village to the north, so...
Yeah, so I think I wasted at least a turn, so the entangle is probably subsiding by now.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to continue investigating and see the extent of this fleshy ground.
Well...
So I sort of walk around, sort of prodding the ground and map it out on high alert for any rock zippers.
So what sort of investigations would you like to do? What sort of information can I give you here?
I'd like to map out the region of this new Earth, see the extent of it. Does it end? And then sort of
So
trace
you'll
out the
go
perimeter.
half mile in one direction and it's still just as fleshy?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, is the old man following me still, or what is he up
Slowly
to?
but surely, yeah. He's having a little trouble walking on the squishy ground. He already has bad knees and needs a cane to walk, so the squishy ground is just like throwing him.
And are we walking south?
Yes.
This is pestilence without end. What's this direction? And I point south. What could...
There are a few villages before you hit heat stroke, which is some miles away. It's 14, 15, 20 miles from our village.
Where's the nearest village? I think I will head there. You can head back if you need. I think I must seek out the source of this pestilence.
He motions towards the ocean, southeast of where you are, and tells you that there are a few fishing villages that run along the coast, very similar to the one that he's from.
Okay.
And then if you are going to continue on, it'll take me far longer to return home than you. I should head back now. But first, let me take my share of sandwiches from your pack, otherwise I may not make it there alive.
Oh, he didn't have his own pack.
No, you're carrying all of his food.
Yes, of course. I will give him his share of the sandwiches. I don't know if that's half or maybe a little less than half. I give him enough food to get him home.
Okay. He starts to head back while you head towards the ocean.
Yeah, I head towards the direction of the nearest village that he pointed out to me.
Okay.
Does this ground continue as I walk towards the village?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a few more miles that day, and in the late afternoon, you get towards the. I don't want to quite call it a forest, but you get towards a slightly wooded point. You know, there are trees sort of scattered about now, and you can see what looks like a very small lighthouse. That might even be a generous term. Someone has definitely had built some sort of like towery structure, even though it's only like 20 feet, that has some sort of like fiery setup at the base of it, or at the top of it. It's not lit, but you can see wood stacked there, and you can see the signs of a small settlement nearby.
Is the settlement intact? Up in flames?
It seems to be intact, but empty from
Really,
your vantage point.
Yeah. All right, so I will travel all the way to the settlement.
All right. You can make it to the settlement. The ground here is just as squishy and fleshy as the ground that you've been walking on this whole time. And you step into the small settlement. You see, I don't know, maybe a score of buildings. There are probably more that are hidden underground that you can't see. It definitely has that small village feel. There are a few boats pulled up on the beach, no dock even, or anything like that. Just small rowing fishing boats.
Hello? Hello? Is there anyone here? And I poke around the small village. Does it appear to be abandoned?
It does appear to be abandoned, yeah.
I feared as much. And I think it's probably getting towards the end of the day, right?
Yeah, the sun is beginning to set.
I'll poke around. Are my goats eating this grass here?
No, the goats are not eating.
Really? Do they seem put off by the grass?
They seem grumpy. Grumpier than goats normally would be.
Oh, we brought our own goat food, so I can feed them oats or
wonderful.
Alfalfa or whatever it is we brought.
They will eat that happily.
Yeah, so we've got them packed pretty well. So I feed them that, and I do a thorough search of the town. Does it seem the same as the Abbey, as if it were left in a hurry?
Yes.
Not raided. Like there's still valuables and stuff about.
Valuables are still all about. The people are gone, and as you walk through it, you do notice signs of struggles here or there. Things that are tipped over that shouldn't be. There's one of the doors looks like someone had managed to put a piece of wood across it and like hammer it shut, and then the door got like knocked open. So you've got like this, like it once was boarded up, but clearly something has been.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop here and like investigate this doorway. That seems interesting enough. Does it look like it was like crowbarred off? Are there claw marks? Was it, like torn off by some massive beast or a man with a tool?
There are definitely incisions in the wood on the outside of the door, as if something had been battering against it. Why don't you give me a... what sort of check would make sense to determine what made that? Intelligence, wisdom, perception, something like that?
They're all about the same. Wisdom is the highest.
Go for it then.
Yeah. Critical. Didn't matter anyways.
Yeah. This definitely looks like some sort of claw marks. Pretty good sized claw marks too.
I'm guessing it's like 4 claws side by side, or maybe 3?
A group of 4 here and 4 there, 4 there.
I like put my hand up to the claw and like, does it seem bigger than my hand?
Seems like maybe about the same size as your hand, like maybe about the size of the dogs you saw in your vision.
Oh, okay. So not like a big bad demon guy.
Not like a giant demon, but maybe a small demon.
Does it seem like it could have been the dog? I feel like a dog paws would be just like a...
Regular dog paws would just leave like little tiny scrapes. Those things that you saw had fairly large, wide paws, almost like, you know how camels' feet are really big for their size? These dogs have fairly like wide paws. And although you didn't really get to see them in action in your vision, they have pretty nasty claws on them.
I peer into the building. Is there like blood strewn about, as if whatever tried to bar themselves in the building met a grisly
No.
demise?
There is no blood strewn about. If something was killed in here, something has cleaned up the blood.
Have I seen any blood anywhere? Mm-mm. That's peculiar. So whoever, they were either taken, but even then, I feel like some would have like put up a fight and had to be killed. Mm-hmm. How very peculiar. Mm-hmm. So I spend the rest of the daylight investigating the town. Is there anything else that strikes me as interesting, or shall we just...
There are a few other signs of struggle, like that door, where there clearly someone had managed to put up some level of defense that has been broken down and knocked over. You do find a spear. It's like a fishing spear, stabbed into the ground at some point, just kind of at an odd angle.
Is the ground here all...
It's all
fleshy,
spongy.
Yep.
With that 33 wisdom check, you'll also notice that what food is lying about is a few days old. These people probably didn't disappear today or yesterday. It looks like this village has been abandoned for a few days, maybe even a week.
Okay. I will head to the lighthouse, I think, to bed down for the night.
Okay.
Get as far above this ground as I can.
All right. You make it to the lighthouse. And you can call your night there.
Let's see.
All right. What do you do with the goats? You bring them up into the lighthouse too?
If there's room for them, yeah.
It's going to be a tight fit. As long as you don't light the fire, you can all fit in here, but if you do light the fire in here, the flames would be hot enough that there wouldn't be enough room for all of you to comfortably sit in the lighthouse. Someone would have to go...
I don't think I'll light a fire.
And stand on the stairs. Okay. So, the sun sets. Slowly. As slowly as it normally does, I suppose. As your eyes adjust to the night, well, first let's hear what you're thinking. What's going on through Zweihard's head?
There's some foul evil that has invaded this land. I'm probably a bit uneasy. I've gotten myself as far above this ground as I can get. But yeah, it's still probably going to be a fitful night. But I need to rest to regain my powers. In the dark, can I see anything? Are there any lights in the distance, or is the countryside wholly abandoned?
There are some lights in the distance, actually. As the sun goes down and the moon slowly begins to rise, you see far to the south there is a purplish light. I don't know how to describe it. It almost looks like a column, like a purplish column, but it's pretty faint. Towards the bottom of the horizon, there's kind of like a domey glow of purple that's fairly faint, and then you can barely make out what appears to be a rising column of light. You can only go so high. It's at the edge of your vision, and the light isn't very intense, so you can just barely make it out.
So is it a single source of light, or is it like a glow over the horizon?
I'm going to doodle your view of it. So you would see kind of like a dome with a shaft coming out of it, and your vision would be, of the horizon like that. So you see kind of like a glowy thingy with a columny thingy.
Can I estimate how far off it is? Like many miles? Is it like over the edge of the horizon?
Yeah, it's pretty far to the south. It's probably coming from somewhere in and around Heatstroke. Maybe not Heatstroke itself, but that region.
Yeah. So how high up is this lighthouse, or whatever, this light tower?
It's like 20 feet off the ground.
Okay. So that should give me bit of a view. Typically,
Mhm.
I think the horizon is about 3 miles out, but maybe from here, I can probably, it's probably seeing heat stroke, which I don't think I've ever been to, but I've been given a good enough description of it. So I will watch this, and eventually I think I'll doze off and get some rest.
Okay.
There are 3 highly alert goats on duty. I've been training these goats, haven't I?
Perhaps.
Or was it the last one that died that I was training? I certainly have been. They don't have any tricks yet, but I had cast animal friendship, and I think charm animal on them as well.
That sounds familiar.
So they are semi-trained. They haven't learned. I don't think they haven't learned specific tricks yet, but eventually they'll be well trained to guard goats. So with the animal friendship spell, you do get to teach them tricks and stuff.
Right. So you are sleeping and you're awoken in the night to strange animal noises that you cannot quite account for. It sounds more guttural than a normal wild animal sort of noise. Maybe it's just because you're in a part of the world that you've never really been before and there are bizarre animals out here. Or maybe it's something otherworldly or supernatural, but there are the sounds of creatures moving around. Creepy. Or making, calling to each other.
I think I stay put, sort of on guard-ish. So, I did definitely charm and animal friendship these goats, and I think I got through a first trick, which was to stay at a campsite. And I think we were next moving on to get them to guard, attack sort of thing. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they should still be able to stay in the tower and probably. I don't know if they're quite at the point where they're defending it, but they'll be on alert.
They're definitely gonna stay in the tower. Let me put it that
way. But also, if anything comes up into here, I'm sure they will get defensive of their turf and at least alert me and wake up. So I'm hoping that these creatures will stay in the distance and leave me be, and I can just sort of rest through the night despite these creepy noises. But I guess we'll wait out and see. I will have my halberd handy, and I'm probably sleeping in armor.
Okay.
Or at least in the middle of the night, I'll put it back on when I hear these noises and try and rest through it, but sort of ready to go. Halberd handy, shield leaning against me. Keep watch, goats. I need to get some shut eye. And I think we just sort of wait and rest as best we can under the eerie purple glow and to the supernatural sounds of braying demon dogs.
Yeah.
Do they ever get closer? Or
No, you never see them, but you do hear these sounds. And eventually the sun will rise and you'll wake up in the morning.
And as I'm waking up, is the glow still there, or can I no longer see it once the sun has risen?
As the sun begins to rise, the natural light drowns out whatever purplish light there is, or maybe the purplish light is diminishing at the same time as the other lights are rising.
And the sounds have at some point subsided?
They kind of, you were asleep and awake, and they were there throughout the night, but during the dawn, they're gone.
And I will, I'll pray. Replenish my spells. Strength of stone. I think I will have burned to create water. Do detect magic, detect evil, water, weighty chest. I don't want either of those. I'm trying to think of my third. We'll see. Let's do Dust Devil and analyze balance, maybe. Um, let's see. Ooh. Haha. All right. So, Strength of Stone, Detect Magic, Detect Evil, and Calm Animals. And then I think I'll do Dust Devil, and I saw another divination spell, Astral Awareness. I think should be interesting. Let's see. The divination attunes the caster's perception to the silvery void of the astral plane or the misty grayness of the ethereal plane.
That sounds awesome.
While the spell is in effect, the caster automatically notes the approach of all kinds of astral or ethereal phenomena, including shifting conduits, the psychic wind, ether cyclones, demiplanes and debris, color pools, and curtains of vaporous color. I don't know if those are like proper nouns in the D&D universe or what.
What was the spell called again?
Astral Awareness.
Perfect.
Just diminish surprise checks against astral or ethereal monsters. So also 5% chance per level to detect the threat of creatures whose gaze extends beyond the ethereal.
Sweet. So this spell is definitely written for like traditional 2E interdimensional lore. We'll keep the concept of the spell the same and adjust it for the planes that we have, because we don't really have astral planes and color pools. So we'll just move it to the equivalent of our interdimensional stuff.
How would it? Is it too metagamey for me to assume that the stuff may be astral or extraplanar or ethereal?
I don't think that's too metagamey at all. I mean,
all right. So I think I'll do a double dose of astral awareness, so I can do it all day, basically.
Yeah.
And I will pray for all of these divinations, and I think start reinvestigate the town now that I've had a chance to rest and clear my mind.
As you come down the side of the lighthouse, you notice there's something new here. The base of the lighthouse seems to have some sort of, I want to say like pale wood, like unstained natural wood colored vine that seems to be kind of growing up the side of it a little bit. It's only, I don't know, yay thick, about the thickness of a U.S. quarter. And at the base of it, and it reaches up maybe 3 or 4 feet and kind of spreads out like veins or arteries, or if you've seen like, what do you call it? Slime molds grow, and they kind of like grow all over the place. That's sort of like branching.
Is it new? So this wasn't here? Did I just not notice it after dark?
This definitely wasn't here before.
I haven't seen anything like this, have I? It's almost like it grew up pursuing me. I think I prod it, not directly, but with like the hilt of like the handle of my battle axe or something, to see if it reacts to stimuli.
Yeah. What is your battle axe? All of it.
I actually probably won't use. Let me see what other equipment I have. Yeah, I think my battle axe is the most mundane. It's a steel battle axe, but it has a wooden handle, I assume.
Yeah, so that's what I guess that's mostly what I was asking about. Wooden handle on the back of it.
Yeah.
So you give it a tap, and it gives a bit of a squish to it, very similar to the earth at your feet as you're walking. It kind of squishes as
Is this thing growing up out of the earth?
It is.
Sort of kick the dirt around. And this seems as good as any to prepare my divinations. So I start unloading all of these divine spells. I think I'll start with my astral awareness, because that lasts a long time. So I'll cast my first astral awareness. I basically read the description for you just now.
Right.
So for the next 4 hours, and then I've got a second one, so I'll recast it at some point in the day. I have I have a 90% chance to detect a color pool from, I don't even know what this color, +5, and a 5% chance per level to determine which plane a curtain or pool. I don't even know what this shit is.
Color pools and curtains of colors are like landmarks used to kind of travel around the astral plane. They lead you to different areas and stuff.
All right, not important. But I'm attuned to the perceptions of this blah, blah, blah. So I should note any astral or ethereal phenomena.
Right.
So if any like extraplanar entities or gateways are around,
Well,
I should feel their presence. I get a bonus
and you
size.
immediately do. The spell goes off, and the ground at your feet immediately takes on a otherworldly hue to it, almost as if it's, on a separate translucent layer that's being overlaid on top of the ground that you actually see.
Is it just the ground? I assume the vine as well.
Yep.
But it's not the whole area. It's like emanating from the ground beneath me.
It's specifically the earth at your feet.
But basically
and the
in all
vine
directions, right?
Yes, as far as you can see.
All right. Then detect magic almost seems like it's not really. I'm like pretty obviously it's magic, huh? I'm gonna cast detect evil though. Or detect good and evil.
Detect good and evil. Okay.
Let's see. Spell discovers emanations of evil or good in the cases. So I do have to reverse it to detect evil. And I hold my holy symbol before me, my hammer of Seor.
Excellent. And tell me, how do you get your reading? Is it like a visual thing? Like it just like shows up as visually like an evil color, or?
I never thought of these things as being. Maybe it's visual. I think it's more like you sense the aura, because I feel like a blind priest should still be able to detect evil, right?
Right.
I think it's like a sixth sense kind of thing. Like you get evil impressions.
Yes.
Creature, object, or area.
Is Zweihaard he's not the like sexy shaved German party boy that Georg was, right?
What?
Is he like
a dwarf? He's fully bearded and. What do you mean?
Oh, so then like the hair on Zweihaard's back. I'm imagining him with a slightly hairy back at least.
Yeah, he's a dwarf.
Begins to like stand on end as if like there's a spider crawling across your neck, and you every hair on your body like begins to stand up, and you can feel this like creepy presence around you, this malevolent, chaotic, evil, burning desire to do harm and ruin everything.
Yeah,
emanates from everywhere around you.
How strong?
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming
evil from everywhere.
I've got a 40% chance to detect it's bent. I'm assuming it's chaotic, but
yes, yes, it is. As it is chaotic evil of an overwhelming kind, emanating from the earth around you in all directions.
Is there anything special about the tendril, or does it just seem to be of the earth?
It definitely isn't earthy. It's definitely this like natural wood, pale natural wood color, but it's fleshy, maybe?
Yeah.
It's hard to see, hard to understand.
I think I'm gonna excavate the tendril, like see where it, like brush away the dirt at the base and see what it's growing out of.
Sure. You start to dig away the earth at the base, and as you pull it away, it kind of like rips back in a fleshy manner, and that yellowish fluid begins to fill the spot. So as you try and dig, you're having to like constantly pull away this rotting, chickeny, oily
the dust, and there's just like
as
gross.
You dig into the ground, it's this watery,
where do the tendrils go? Where does this tentacle go?
Well, you get at least 3 inches down to the ground as you're digging, and it seems to be going down even further, running along the base of the building.
Yeah, I take my battle axe and give a good chop to the tentacle and sever it from the base.
You chop hard all the way through it. You can feel the axe hit stone.
Isn't it a wooden tower, or is it a stone tower?
No, it's a stone tower. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't think I would want to dull my axe on the stone. I don't know if it's actually. So I probably would use like the holy symbol that I'm detecting evil with, which is like a little hammer around my neck. I've probably taken that off, and I'll like pull the tentacle away from the stone tower if that's possible. and
Like try and
chop it.
pry underneath it and pull it
Yeah,
back.
just so I'm not like smacking into stone. I just want to sever the tentacle.
Sure. So
Does
you
it
can
sever
pull.
readily, or do I need to make an attack roll or anything?
You can pull it off and away, and then try and sever it. And you bring your steel axe down through the tentacle into the ground. And as you remove the axe, you see that the tentacle just sort of like bent with the steel and did not rip.
I think I go again, and it seems to me like a regular steel is ineffective against.
This seems like really rubbery, as if you're using a dull knife on uncooked chicken, and it's just like bending the chicken instead of cutting the chicken.
Yeah, I tuck the battle axe into my waist and take my mithril halberd. So I think I'm gonna like handle the tentacle. Like, can I grasp it in my hand?
Yes.
And I'm gonna cut it on like one of the pointy, sharp ends of the halberd. So I'm not gonna like. It seems like it'd be awkward to like wield the halberd against it, but I'll like take it and like try and like slice it on the mithril.
Slices easily and cleanly.
Does it
right
start
on through.
writhing in my hand as it severs, or does it seem unliving?
No, it just kind of like flops to the ground. No real reaction. Just kind of this juicy thingy. There's no rings around it. It looks like you've just got a piece of weird flesh in your hand.
I toss it aside. I pick up my halberd and continue and set off, I guess, south.
Towards Heatstroke?
Towards Heatstroke. My detect evil will last, I think, about 3 turns. Yeah, 3
So
turns.
half an hour.
Yeah, so I assume I just detect evil where I look. I think you typically need to like stop and concentrate, but I assume there's just kind of a constant sense of evil from everything around me.
Every
the
time
astral
you
awareness is for hours, so it seems like the whole, like there's nothing. I guess if anything changes, it'll probably stick out to me, but it seems like the whole landscape is infested with this evil extraplanar force.
Yes. And you can head southward towards Heatstroke is what it looks like what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to Heatstroke, but it seems like that's where, I think towards where I saw that purplish light.
Right. You get 4 miles or so when you come across another small village here. This one's a little bit inland. It's got a view of the sea, which is a ways away. And there's a small creek. Just, it's big enough that you could float a little boat down it if the water was running well. That leads to the ocean. The small village has some pens that would hold animals normally, but the animals are missing. Some of the pens are broken open.
Yeah, I walk through the town. I assume I find much the same.
Yeah. You move on. You cross another small village, much the same, completely devoid of anyone or anything. And after
signs of struggle, but no obvious sign of bloodshed.
Right. And after a half a day's of journeying, you come to the River Crux that separates you from Heatstroke on the other side.
Can I see Heatstroke from here?
Yes, it is directly on the other side of the river. I know the map makes it look a little bit.
Is it walled? Is there other big stone buildings?
It is unwalled. It is mostly made out of stone buildings. There are a few wooden ones here or there. From your position on the river, you can see the stepped temple that is more or less the heart of Heatstroke. It's hundreds of feet high. It's wildly impressive. It's definitely the largest building in height or mass or volume that you've ever been in or seen.
My jaw kind of drops. I can't remember if Zweihaard heard tales of this
Definitely, you've heard of it.
I did. Okay.
Yeah. But it is more impressive than you would have imagined. Give me a perception check.
Yeah. 26.
You notice on the steps of the temple, of the pyramid, are very large demonic monsters with kind of like wings coming off the back of them. They're like 9 feet tall with like hooks and bony protrusions, large weapons. You count maybe 10 of these things crawling up and down on the temple, seemingly at random. There is no bridge that crosses the river here. On the other side, there are lots of boats that are tied up. and there are 1 or 2 boats, tied up to something on your side of the river if you wanted to try and row across.
I don't think I want to row across. I look on in horror at these winged creatures. How many of them do I think I see?
Maybe 10.
Okay.
Because they're moving around, so you'll lose one behind the side of the pyramid, and you don't know how many are back there. So when one comes around, was it the same one? Was it a different one? We're gonna say ballpark of 10. That's not to mention the dog-like creatures that you do occasionally see walking across the other side of the river. You're
directly across the river.
Yeah, so you're watching the pyramid, and then something moves on your left, and you'll see one of those dog-like creatures you saw in your vision walking along the side, and then you lose it behind a building, and it doesn't come out.
Yeah, I crouch behind a tree or a bush or something, but it seems like the creatures hadn't taken notice of me.
Not yet. You see another one of those dog-like creatures coming out of one of the ships tied up to one of the docks on the river. Mm-hmm. And then it heads onto the dock, and you lose sight of it until it goes past the ship, and you see it walking towards the town.
Well, how many steps are there to the pyramid? Are they small steps? So it's like many hundreds of steps, or is it?
So you've got a couple of things. You've got the pyramid comes in very large chunks. Like the blocks are maybe 10 feet high, so they're pretty big. But then there is also a staircase that runs up the central path of the pyramid.
Yeah. So how many of the larger steps are there? You said it's hundreds of feet tall?
Right.
Okay, so there's probably
many.
But probably 30 or 40 steps, right?
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay. And do the demons appear to be concentrated anywhere in particular, or are they just on willy-nilly on various levels?
Willy-nilly crawling all over. Some are using the regular steps to go up and down. Others are just going up the big steps or jumping down. And they seem to be going around and up and down and kind of all over with no clear pattern or purpose.
No pattern or purpose. So there's not I would assume there'd be one on top keeping watch, but no, they just appear to be randomly, chaotically milling about.
Yes. You notice that they'll have these large two-handed obsidian blades. Some of them hold it in hand. Some of them have it strapped to their back. Some have at their side.
I look on in horrified curiosity for a few minutes. Like I said, I tried to get a count of the demons. It sounds like I see at least 10 milling about the pyramid.
Yeah.
I see a few dogs across the river. Do all the demons appear to be of the same species? There's just like one kind of...
So the tall ones that are walking about all seem to be of the same species, but the dogs seem to be of a different type.
You could even call them species. I don't even know if they're creatures. Have I heard anything of... I guess I didn't pay that much. I don't think I have a religion proficiency or anything. Have I heard anything of this? I mean, I guess there's probably generic demon rumors, but this is like nothing I've ever conceived.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was originally planning on investigating or heading all the way to Heatstroke, but seeing this, I think I've got enough. I've had enough, and I will probably head back. I think I should visit the halflings and warn them, and maybe I can even catch a boat or a ship, as much as I hate to say that, rather than having to head overland back to the dwarf lands. So I think I've seen enough to give a reasonable description.
Sure.
A warning. And I will I've seen that demon image.
Just making sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to turn back around, take the goats with me, and flee northwards back to the halfling village.
All right. You can make it back to the halfling village with a little lighthouse. The goats are very uncomfortable the whole way through, eager to leave every spot, and then once stopped, never wanting to move again. They have a lot of inertia.
Yeah,
these goats.
Pretty typical, and probably even more pronounced here. Mm-hmm. Is there let's see. Is the most direct route back to go along the coast to these villages? Are there like small trails between them and things?
Yes, that would be the most direct route.
Okay, so it wouldn't make sense to head inland at all?
No. I think for you, it's most direct to follow the coast.
Okay, so I head north along the coast. I probably just make it back to that same lighthouse for tonight, huh?
Yep.
Before nightfall, I'll go ahead and cast Detect Magic, because might as well. So let's see. So this should tell me dim, faint, moderate, strong, or overwhelming. So is the stuff magic, or is it just evil and extraplanar?
It is. It gives off the same sort of like faint magic that a semi-magical creature might give off. Like, a troll will radiate like the faintest faint aura of magic if you get like right up close to it, and unicorns will radiate a little bit of magic. Even elves will radiate a little bit of magic since they're not entirely natural
what about
creatures.
Dwarves are of the earth.
You guys are totally normal and natural. You're the most normal natural thing around.
Of course.
Yeah.
And 40% chance to get the sphere. I don't know if the sphere is even relevant, but
I don't think it's relevant. I don't think it's not a sphered magic.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I will rest in the lighthouse once again, and set out the following day.
Okay. You see the same purplish light in the same column that you saw the night before, and once again you do hear what you think are the sounds of wild demon dogs, maybe?
Yeah. Before nightfall, I will cast my second astral awareness, and see if that changes my perception of the purplish stuff. I don't think there's a range listed. The range is 0. Note the approach. Yeah, it doesn't even have a distance.
Okay.
Detect. But I can determine which plane a curtain or pool leads simply by studying its color. 5% chance level. So I think there's a 20% chance maybe that by looking at this purplish hue, I can confirm its origin, if that's okay with you.
You do not determine its origin, unfortunately.
But I do get some sort of I can look at that purplish hue and see that it's some sort of extraplanar gateway or beacon, or is any more information gained by looking upon it with my astral awareness?
The top of it seems to. The light fades the higher up it goes, and it does look like there is some sort of interdimensional component to the rising light, although it cannot be determined what exactly that is.
Okay. And I go to sleep with this astral awareness still in effect, letting the sound of the dogs soothe me to sleep, and the purple hue be my nightlight.
Yeah. The next day dawns.
All right.
You wake uncomfortable because you've been sleeping in your armor.
Yeah, I think I would have taken my armor off the second night.
Okay.
I assumed that the dogs wouldn't attack.
Yeah. You wake up in the morning, and sure enough, that little tendrily thingy that you had cut down the day before is there again. Not in the exact same spot, but another tendril has taken its place. and it's grown a little bit higher. This time, instead of only being like, yay high off the ground, now it's like 4 feet that it's crawled up the side of the lighthouse.
Yeah, let's... this is what I was looking for. I guess that won't help much. I was looking at light and load to see if that would make my travel faster, but I don't actually think I'm that encumbered.
I don't think you're encumbered at all. Otherwise, you couldn't be going 12 miles a day.
No, I've got the goats to share my burden with me. Truth. Just thinking what spells to rememorize. Give me just a second. Ooh. Sure. Let's memorize messenger.
Ooh.
Let's do messenger. Why don't I do it twice? Actually, maybe this way I can... No, I think I still want to go to the halflings. So messenger... And... Dust Devil... Strength of Stone, I got Calm Animals. Just go with my go-tos. Entangle. And... Sunscorch. I think.
Why don't we take our break while you search through your spells, and we'll come back on the other side while Zweihaar gets the hell out of here. See you guys in a bit.